Hey guys, I'm getting ready to walk into Zaxby's, so I just want to show y'all an example in terms of the advantage of my truck, my Isuzu. Obviously, if I had a truck and trailer, I wouldn't be able to park right there. It would just be too long, be sticking out. So yeah, that's just an example. The mounted space is shorter, so it helps me to park in tighter places, if that makes sense. But anyway, I just thought I'd show y'all that. Have a good one. Hey everyone, my main topic of the video is going to be talking about my trailerless setup that I have now. Now I still have a single axle trailer that I use from time to time, but obviously primarily I'm using my Isuzu trucks, and on occasion I'll use my nice Sierra 1500. I try not to use it for work related stuff, but we're going to talk about that before I talk about the benefits of a trailerless setup and some of the things I've noticed since I started using the Isuzus over, truck and the trailer. Yeah, I'll just let you know what I got going on today. So it's about 7 now. We had a lot of rain last night. It's getting cold. It's windy. So obviously it's too wet and cold and windy for me to do any kind of lawn care related stuff. I've got some straw jobs lined up for this week, but really don't want to do that when it's windy. So yeah, I'm headed now. Actually going to be doing basically firewood related stuff the entire day, and we won't work the entire. We'll probably work to 3 or 4, somewhere in there, just depending on how we feel and how things go. It'll just be me and Justin obviously up there working, but I'm headed now to pick up pallets at the UPS distribution center. My buddy Steven works, so I'll be picking up some free pallets. Hopefully they have a lot up there for me to nab real quick. Yeah, they just give them away to people. People come up there all the time and pick them up, but usually seems like the last few times I've come up there have been, quite a few up there for me to get. So that's what I'm hoping to be the case. So yeah, I mean, this time of year, the firewood's great, especially when the weather is inclement and it's too wet. You can always just split wood, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be taking advantage of the month of January when you have similar situations as today when the weather is bad. You can always just split wood. So that's what we'll be doing today. I gotta take advantage of a day like today and get a lot of wood split, because if you're going to do firewood and you're going to sell it, you're going to need a lot of it to make good money, or the most money you can possibly make. So I'm going to try to get a lot of wood split and continue to build up that supply. So I'll be using the month of January to really do that, and should get a whole lot of wood split this month. So today's the perfect day to do that. But anyway, hey, listen, let's talk about the main point of the video. I'm really going to give you my experience, because I'm 39. I've basically been mowing grass since I was honestly before 16. To be honest with you, I started push mowing when I was 14, 15 yards for money. And then obviously I started driving a truck and a trailer when I turned 16. So I had a truck and a trailer for about 20 years. So I know all about, driving a truck or trailer, right? It wasn't until, I guess the middle of 2022, I got my spray truck, and that's what I'm in now. That I started using the Isuzus, and then 6 months later, I guess that same December, I ended up buying the other Isuzu truck. So yeah, man, I'll tell you the benefits of a trailer setup, are numerous for sure. I'll just say this as far as the disadvantages, and I mentioned this to Ray, and this whole video is actually based on a comment I made on Ray's video yesterday when he had the blowout. I made a comment, and a guy came and commented on my comment. Just trying to be a smart butt, if you know what I mean, in a way. But he obviously doesn't know any better, doesn't have any clue about, Isuzu truck, and frankly, doesn't really have a whole lot of common sense. I think you know it's common sense that a truck, an Isuzu truck, or any kind of truck is going to have less problems or issues than any trailer, any utility trailer. If you've been doing this kind of work, or if you've used a utility trailer long enough. But anyway, yeah, I have vast experience, obviously, using the truck and trailer, and now the Isuzus for the last couple of years. I'm gonna tell you some things I've noticed. The one disadvantage, obviously, and this is pretty common sense, the big disadvantage, I guess, obviously it's not something I'm gonna be able to use to travel my family in, or take my wife on a date in. Obviously that's common sense there. Number two is I can't haul a trailer. I don't have a hitch for it. I got the dovetail with the gate, but you can't put a hitch on it. So I couldn't haul another trailer if I wanted to, or like haul a skid steer. Obviously this truck has plenty of power and torque and all that to be able to haul a skid steer if I had a hitch on it, but the way it's built, I couldn't put a hitch on it. So I guess that's a disadvantage. And I couldn't obviously put a skid steer on it, on the bed itself, because it would be too heavy for the dovetail and the gate. It can haul between 10 and 14,000 pounds. So technically it could haul it if you just placed it on the bed itself, but obviously I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, I guess that's really the only disadvantages to it, are those two things. Other than that, the advantages are huge. And I'll just tell you about some things I've noticed. First of all, the overall length, of a Isuzu compared to a truck and a trailer. The length of the Isuzu is going to be far less long, if that makes sense. So you can get in and out of places, tighter places, a lot easier than you can a truck and trailer. Those of you that know about them know the turning radius is incredible. So that's a big advantage there too. I mean, obviously it's not something you got to worry about really often, but every now and then, that increased turning radius definitely comes in hand. It's an advantage there. Really depends on the situation you're in the neighborhood, or if there's a lot of cars around. It's just easier. The less lengthy your setup is, the easier it is to get in and out of places, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that makes pretty good sense there. But anyway, hey, listen guys, I'm pulling up. We're gonna talk more about it here in a second. I'm gonna get some of these pallets. Oh yeah, I got some good ones here. I got some good pallets. I don't know if you can see. Got a lot of pallets here, so I'm gonna pick those up and we'll talk more about it here in a second. Talk to you soon. Now y'all, so I'm back. Yeah, I ended up having a really good score of pallets there. I think it was 19 that I got. I could have probably got some more, but I try to get the best ones I can get. The heaviest one, well, not necessarily the heaviest ones, but as long as they don't have broken slats and all the slats are there and not missing, that's usually the ones I'll get. The oak one's preferable. There are some heavy duty pine ones that they've been bringing in a lot, and they're pretty heavy, so I get those too, but obviously the oak is probably gonna take longer to rot. So yeah, that's something, if you're gonna do firewood, you always have to have, really need pallets. I guess there's other things you can do to keep the wood off the ground, but obviously pallets is typically what people are gonna use. And those pallets are gonna go bad, or the slats are gonna break, so you're gonna have to replace those pallets that you've been using before, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've always made sure, since I started doing this, to have plenty of pallets on hand, and as I grow my supply and add new different types of wood type, I'm gonna need more and more pallets, to do the firewood. So yeah, I got 19 on the truck that I'm bringing up there now. It's getting really windy, by the way. So yeah, y'all, hey, let's continue to talk. So again, yeah, the length of your setup is a big deal, in terms of maneuverability, getting out of tight spaces. Sometimes I'm in these neighborhoods where, the houses are smaller and closer together. You don't want to block a driveway if you can avoid that. And obviously that length comes into play there. So yeah, having the less lengthy setup with the Isuzu can be a big advantage there if you think of it that way. And the turn radius is really good with the Isuzu, and being able to turn tighter with just one truck, as opposed to having a big long trailer attached to F-150 or Silverado, whatever it may be. That's a huge advantage, huge deal for sure. So yeah, I thought that'd be something to bring up. So let's see here. Some other things, and these are things that I've noticed in general, is, and I'll just bring up the Isuzu. So both my Isuzu trucks now have right around 20,000 miles. So not a whole lot of miles, and obviously I bought them new. I haven't had a single issue, engine related or anything, the tires, anything. Let me bring up a couple points of things I've noticed that I felt like y'all find interesting. So, and obviously I guess that would be expected with being new, right? But anyway, let me point these things out that I've noticed with the Isuzu. First off, so I have yet, and I'm not really sure exactly the reason why. I think it has something to do, maybe the tires you know, are super hard. I guess that rubber is super hard. I don't know really what the ply is or whatever it is that you call it. But I have yet to get a single nail in the tires of either truck. Knock on wood. As I just said it, I'll probably end up getting one today, but I have yet to get a single nail lodged in either one of the tires. And again, I've got 20,000 miles on each of them, essentially. So yeah, I'm not really sure exactly why. Again, maybe it has something to do with the hardness of the tire. I don't really know, but that's something I've noticed. And it was fairly often that I would get, you know, a nail in my truck tire. I've actually got one in my Silverado now that I haven't repaired yet. So that's a big deal. I'm not really sure exactly why that's been the case. Maybe it's just God looking down on me, blessing me, keeping those things from happening. But yeah, that's something I've noticed, and that's important. You know, it's a big deal to me that I'm not having to worry about, you know, a nail in the tire. Whether it's luck, being blessed, or something to do with the tires themselves, I'm not really sure. So that's a big deal. That's something I've noticed there with a Isuzu. And the tires themselves, guys, I mean, they've hardly worn at all. I mean, they look brand new. Obviously, they've only got 20,000 miles on them each. So I guess they shouldn't have a whole lot of wear. But I'm thinking, just based on what I've noticed, you know, I should get at least 50,000 miles on these tires. So when you're talking about a trailer, when you're constantly having to replace those tires, or you're constantly getting nails in those tires, right? I was constantly getting nails in my trailer tires. So you guys that are smarter than I am when it comes to tires and trailers, y'all let me know. I'm thinking this has something to do, if you got a double axle trailer, a double axle especially, I think it's going to be more likely to get a nail in it, because I'm assuming those front tires, that front axle is probably going to sling a nail up or kind of move it around to where that second axle is going to be more likely that tire is going to have a nail get lodged in it because of that. I'm not really sure. Is that why? Y'all tell me. I'm assuming that's the case. But I was constantly, on a regular basis, having those nails getting lodged in those trailer tires when I was, you know, when I had my big trailer that I was pulling around. And even my truck tires on my Silverado would get nails in them fairly often, where I'd have to take it in to get, you know, the tire repaired and to get that nail out and patched, that kind of thing. So especially the trailer tire, though, that was something that was occurring on a regular basis, where I'd be getting nails in them, and I'd take them in to, you know, get them repaired if they could repair it. And a lot of times, if it was lodged a certain kind of way, they would just have to throw the tire out altogether. So I was constantly having to have spare trailer tires in order to potentially replace them. Not only from the nails, but from the fact that they would wear out a lot, you know, fairly quick. You guys that have trailers know that. They tend to wear out fairly quick, or at least in my experience, they would. And you'd have to replace those thicker tires if they got the nail in it again. There would be times where you'd have to just go ahead and replace it altogether, and if you weren't able to patch it. So that would happen. But all in all, yeah, I was going through at least 4 tires a year on my double axle trailer, just from the wear and tear, in general. And especially if your trailer, if the axles, I guess if they weren't balanced right, you know, it seemed like there was always one side or one particular axle or tire itself on the trailer that would wear a lot quicker than the others. Usually, you know, 2 or 3 times as much as the other 3. So there was one particular axle inside that I would have to replace on a regular basis, usually 2 or 3 times a year. And the others wouldn't wear as much, but eventually I had to replace those, you know, once a year, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's something that, something that definitely I've noticed. Just the wear and the tear, and the fact that you get the nails in them way more often. And you got to worry about them being balanced correctly and getting off kilter, where that one tire may be wearing out sooner. So that was something that I noticed. as opposed to the Isuzus where the tires seem to be lasting a lot longer. Obviously the tires on the Isuzu, if I have to ever replace one, is going to cost a lot more. But at least I'm not having to constantly worry about, you know, changing the tires out, right? So that's a big deal. Something I've noticed there. So let's see here. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think as I drive down the road here, guys. I'm in a country road without a lot of traffic, so I'm good. What else? Yeah, the blowouts. So again, you know, Ray, you had the blowout on his trailer. He's actually, I think, Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you've had a couple of blowouts this year in your trailers. If you're using a trailer, obviously you guys know it's going to be you're way more likely to have a blowout on a trailer than you are a truck. So obviously you think that'd be common sense to the guy that came at me a little bit with a smart aleck comment, you know, talking about, hey, saying, what do you have, I think you said, what do you have, flat tires with no air? Or do you use tracks? I mean, you know, obviously he's being a smart aleck, but yeah, it's coming from a guy that obviously doesn't know any better. So it's all good. Just clarify, and I clarified my comment for him to maybe he'll understand it on Ray's video. But yeah, Ray, I believe, has had a few blowouts on the trailers, and I also did too. And I mean, that's going to be common sense, guys. You're going to have more blowouts potentially on a trailer than you are a truck, any kind of truck. In my years of driving a truck and a trailer, I think I only had a blowout on my truck maybe 2 or 3 different times where I had to bring it in from it being completely flat, or I had to change the tire out on the side of the road when I had a trailer attached. So it was very rare that that would happen with a truck, but it happened fairly regularly on the trailer, right? So yeah, I mean, that's just, yeah, I mean, that's a huge deal, guys. I mean, I just have way less things I have to worry about not having to have a trailer, right? So that's really the main point of the video, is the fact that, you know, there's way less things that can go wrong when you don't have a trailer, as opposed to just, in my case, the Isuzu truck with the flatbed. And my experience proves that. I literally haven't had any problems since I bought these trucks. Again, I bought them new, so that maybe that's to be expected. But yeah, I mean, it's all about reducing downtime, y'all. And if you've had a trailer long enough, you're going to experience problems with them. You know, I haven't actually mentioned some of the other issues that can occur. Y'all know the issues that you can have with trailers, utility trailers in general, that I don't have to worry about, right? Not having one, not having to use one. So that's a big deal when you don't have to worry about downtime as much. Obviously, downtime is going to affect your efficiency, your productivity, your profitability. And that's all things you got to consider when you're doing lawn care or any kind of business, any kind of service-related business where you're using a truck. That's something you got to consider. So that's a big point I want to make is, you know, I don't have to worry about those things. And my Isuzus have been very reliable and way more reliable than a trailer, right? So that's been a big deal for me since I've had them, for sure. So just want to leave you that comment. Y'all let me know anything. I'm sure I missed some things, some issues that you're going to encounter with trailers in general, but I think I pointed out the main ones. I feel like I made some good points in terms of the advantages of the Isuzu trucks that I've seen, I've noticed since I've started using them after using the truck and trailer setup for almost 20 years. So yeah, definitely love the Isuzus, guys. As someone that used the truck and the trailer for many, many years, much prefer the Isuzus overall, although there are those few disadvantages for sure. But overall, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, no doubt about it. So yeah, y'all let me know what you think. Y'all let me know in the comments. Curious if any of you guys have used both like I have, and if you agree with what I'm saying. Any other issues that y'all have experienced fairly regularly with your trailers, I'm curious too. Y'all let me know. I think I pointed out the main ones that I noticed over the years, so y'all let me know too. But anyway, hey, listen, hopefully this is helpful. Just give you a little insight on things I've noticed, you know, since I started using the Isuzu trucks. Hope y'all doing well. Talk to you later.